And we're live.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And we're live.
Wait, stop. Okay, now we're live. I just wanted to make sure this was on ending. Oh my god.
That was
so
fun.
funny.
That was more.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong.
God damn it.
Hey, do you guys like coffee? So anyway, I want to welcome everybody to the world famous, most award-winning comic book club, the Splash Pages comic. I am going to be filling in for the fearless leader Leo Pond today. So he will not be here, but my name is Justin, and I'm going to be introducing our panel of wonderful guests. Actually, hosts. I'm the guest. So let me start off here. As you saw in the trailer, we have Mr. Velvet Joker.
Hey,
That's not it. Justin
Yep,
Cooper.
we're still working on that.
Yep.
I'm here.
And then there was
Hold
Velvet
on,
Joker.
he's got the best intro.
He does, yeah. So, well, we're working on it.
He's
Hey,
right
guys.
there.
Here I am. It's all good. It's Tuesday
Yeah.
night, and it's your man, Velvet J, here. And if you see my face, it's 8 p.m. It's Tuesday. It's Splash Pages. Hey, do you guys
And you know
know
you're
that if you hit Google and you look up Splash's Page Comic Book Club podcast, there's a ton of listings. There's a ton of videos. We are a brand, goddammit, and we're building something. And tonight, we're going to be talking about comic book news and a fantastic story by Sean Murphy, and Katana Collins. And it's fantastic. And we're going to talk about it soon. What do you think, Jeremy?
Da-da-da, that's me. Hey, hey, ho, ho. It's Splash Pages, don't you know, with Justin. Hold on. Yeah, Justin Cooper. I had that right.
Mhm.
Velvet J. And, oh, damn it. And Ghostbuster Man 1984, Drew Mollo.
Hi.
Check your mirrors, check your gauges. It's time for Splash Pages. But yeah, it's Tuesday night, and once again, we're all here, and that was the best start that we've had in a long time. Thank you, Justin. I if we're starting off laughing that hard in the beginning, it can only get better. So that was great. And over to you, Drew.
I thought it was Thursday. So I mean, this is already off to a great start. No, I'm a little annoyed at all three of you because I thought this was a perfect opportunity for me to do my Leo impression.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
which again, I've done enough shows with all of you. Well, primarily Rich and Jeremy, but Justin, you were there too. And I
I've been
think
on like 6
my
episodes.
goal is to, yeah, but I think my goal is to one day be able to do it where I can mimic all of you, so I could just do the intro by myself.
that'd be
And then,
great.
but hold on, let me see if I can show you guys a teaser for that. Hold on, I have to have glasses on, otherwise it doesn't work. All right, so it's just like, hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday at Splash Pages. I'm Leo Pond. I'm your monkey behind the keyboard, and we're here for another great show. We got comic book news and everything, and then we're on to Velvet Joker, Jar Jar Jeremy, Justin Cooper, and Ghostbuster Man 1984. How you doing there? All right, cool. All right, start the show.
Did you do all that while killing a snake with a hatchet?
Every day, especially
Okay.
after I lit it on fire, because when you work for the reptile mafia, you have to show you do not have fear, because
Sir, you have
technically,
cleared the city.
I bet you Leo's got a whole snakeskin like suit in the closet that he's just like
listen,
when he goes
I
snake
still
hunting.
no. You have to understand. I still think he used to be a mob hitman back in the day. This is his witness protection thing because his
Yep.
name Leo Pond. It's so
Out in the
simple.
open. Yep.
Concrete boots, sink them.
I'm just saying, like one day, it's gonna be like history of violence. You know, someone's gonna find us at a con, and he's just gonna go, goddamn John Wick on a motherfucker,
He
and
told me
no one would
27
expect
years
it.
ago he killed the creeper.
Knew it.
Yeah.
That
Totally
nice,
knew it.
that nice thing.
But
is
yeah,
just a cover,
so-
guys. It's just a cover.
Oh yeah. It's all of a sudden one day
Yeah.
somebody from his past is going to come, as Drew was saying, and Leo snaps and just all of a sudden rips open his shirt. It's got that snakeskin tie flinging.
He's got a cobra. He's got a cobra head on his chest,
He
like
looks
Danny
Serpentor
Trejo,
from
and he just
G.I.
goes in.
Joe.
Yeah, bam. But everybody, so let us know your theories on Leo's true identity in the next episode. But we've got a great show. And as you can tell, our tangent mojo is very strong today. This is what happens when we have a Fleo, or the evolution to that, which is now a Cleo, which is a cool Leo. But then yes, I'm so bored. I'm coming up with catchphrases. So, gentlemen, how are you doing today? I don't have any celebrity deaths to share because I decided for once we weren't going to start with a downer. Next time, it's going to be the plague. But this time, I'm good. Everyone stayed alive. So, how are y'all doing?
Happy.
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got followed, Jordan.
Yeah, all good. Absolutely. I had a rough back day, but I've recovered. I got home a little afternoon, a couple of hot showers, and here I am, professional podcaster on the scene, ready to go. And I don't have a ton of comic book news this week, but as you guys probably know, and I've certainly mentioned, I drove upon a gentleman trying to break into a building yesterday. So that was interesting.
At first, when I was watching it, I was like, well, he's got a bag of tools. Maybe he's a locksmith. And then the cops showed up, and I was like,
no.
Yeah, he's not a locksmith.
I kind of pull up, and I see this guy it looks like he's pulling at the doors of what is like an now empty spirit shop where, they have that Halloween spirit shop that's only there seasonally. And it's empty. And I see this guy pulling. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's a realtor and he dropped his key card or something at the door. And then I pull and he looks weird at my car. And then I pull around the building. And then I see he's yanking at it and yanking at it. I'm like, what the fuck? And there's a Chick-fil-A right there. So I walk in the Chick-fil-A and I'm talking to one of the managers that I know. And I go, do you see what's going on out here? And he goes, what's going on? And I'm like, there's a guy trying to break into the spirit shop. So now the whole staff at Chick-fil-A is watching at the window. I'm like, do you think we should call the cops? I was like, oh shit,
that's a good idea.
He calls the cops. The cops don't come for another 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'm running around.
He's not a very good
cars that are
breaking
parked,
and
trying to
entering
take
guy.
video of this guy, and then finally the cops come and they arrest him. And I was looking for something in the paper, but nothing.
That's pretty sad. After 15
Nothing
minutes,
yet,
and couldn't
maybe.
get in.
Yeah, actually, after I think it was 8 or 10 minutes, the kid called back and was like, he's using a huge knife to try to get in, figuring maybe that would
Really?
get them to come back, and still took them a total of 15 minutes.
That's pretty funny.
Well,
Minor
you know what, Rich?
white
That sounds so much better than I see what you did there. It's son of a bitch using the title card. Well, it's much better than my weekend because I'm just going to tell you guys, I don't care how old you are. Food poisoning is not fun. Okay? I don't care how old you are. Food poisoning is not fun. I literally thought I was going to crack my toilet seat.
What was
I need to
the
write that
damage,
down.
Drew? What was the meal of death?
I don't know, Rich. I just woke up and I just, did my business and went about my Sunday. And then I just kept running to the bathroom. I mean, honestly, like I'm telling you, I thought the power of these buns was just going to crack that seat. You know, it happened before, but you know, and you think about it, you sit down, you're like, I cracked the toilet seat. You're like, these justice thighs. But then you're like, this is not good. This says a lot about my weight that I do not want to think about, because then I will spiral into some sort of horrible weight trauma. But then you realize that the entire day is wasted because all you're doing is in bed, hating yourself, wondering, I don't know what's still in me to go.
Well,
but
it
yet,
had to be the meal from the night before. What did you have the night before?
Sounds like
Rich,
existential.
I swear to God, man, I don't know what it was, but I just remember telling a friend, I was like, whatever I did, I'm sorry already. Please, like, let it end.
No more.
And then the next day, I was just like, okay, I'm good now. It's run its course, but I lost 2 pounds.
Oh.
I know. I was like, only 2? Like, what the hell? But yeah.
Look at Carrie giving information on StreamYard out in our comments. Thank you, Carrie.
Yes, thank you, Gary.
She's our-
But Rich,
Is it
your
Carrie
story
or Kari? Because I was saying Kari.
you
Oh,
also
I
have
don't
to
know.
you
I
also have
also
to be
know.
you have to be careful because she has an alter ego, Delphine.
Yeah, Delphine.
Germulard. So, you know, we have to get our fan identities right, because if we anger them, they will no longer support the show, and then our revenue goes dead.
You guys got revenue.
Shh.
Pennies. Okay, we have pennies, my man. But Rich, your story is better. Mine is just sleeping and shit. Yours is I came across a crime and I made someone a celebrity for literally an hour.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to see, I did make a video both on YouTube and TikTok. Velvet Joker 1 is my identity out there. If anyone wants to see.
Well, Jen, thank you, Carrie, for helping me with that
Pronounced like
pronunciation.
Carrie. See, I was right.
Oh, it's Raz.
Okay, listen,
I know,
guys.
Raz.
We listen. I need to say this. If that's how it's said, we cannot bully her. Okay, I've seen how that movie goes. Okay, we need to avoid. We need to avoid. Yep, we need to avoid buckets of pig's blood, 1970s prom, Sissy Spacek, and John Travolta.
Right.
The last one is pretty easy.
Yeah. Oh,
Jeremy,
the
I
last
know-
one
I
was
know
the
Adam
hardest.
Sandler albums.
Yeah, I know, Jeremy. You this weekend, you must be working on your questions because you are the head of some panels at a con coming up pretty soon.
In just what 2-3 weekends from now, March 18th and 19th, Connecticut GamerCon. Woo! I'm wicked excited.
Are you
thank
excited?
you, Rich, for helping me. I'm super excited. Like
You don't say wicked in Connecticut, though.
one of the guests that I get to run the.
You guys always message me when I'm at work, so I can't respond. And then I feel like a jackass because I want to support and show the love. And then Rich is just like, oh, here. I'm like, my God, man.
Oh, Rich was on that thing. I was just like, yeah, Rich.
Yeah. Like
I already have because of Rich, I had like one set of each set of questions for like 10 of them. Like Kyle and damn, her name I'm blanking on right now, Miss Glass. Theirs were pretty easy. I was having an easy time, but Marta, she doesn't have as large of a list, so you know my normal generic questions weren't hitting as well. So once I turned to Rich, I was just like, oh, thank you, Rich.
Just remember, if you ask them, if you run out of questions, always go with what did you have for lunch, and then ask if it was on rye bread.
Well,
okay, always good.
See, really, I rely on the audience. Usually the audience is really good, and they'll come up with a good 10 to 15 to 20 questions, and it'll blow through the panel like no tomorrow. But every now
true.
and again you hit that panel room that's only got like 5 or 10 people in it, and you're just like, okay, I don't want anybody to feel downtime here. So you want to make sure you got all your backup questions and stuff. Got to go for 45 minutes. Nobody gets bored. And Rich, you
listen,
really
there
came
will
I
through
always
for me.
there
ask,
will be a day.
what's your favorite Twilight Zone?
Well, I do have
That's a
those
good
kind
one.
of questions
No,
too,
that
where I get weird. I'm just like, so what's the worst bill you have to pay that you really hate to like dig into, or stupid shit like that. If the panel is just really boring, I will just be like, look, what kind of laundry detergent are you using these days? Anything you're allergic to? What's going on?
Well, Jeremy, I
Jeremy,
just use the technology tools that are out there now. I just
Same.
I went to Chat GPT and asked it 3 different ways and picked and choose which questions I want.
What's
and I did learn also.
GPT?
Go to openai.com and you can ask it all
You're
kinds
super
of
smart.
fun stuff.
I never thought to do that.
But I also learned that Marta Svetka, who is one of your people on your panel, is not. There's also a woman of the same name that is a musical artist. So at first, I think I
saw some of those
and
questions.
I was like, oh, I need to be more specific. So yes, you play with the way you ask it, and you get better answers. So that's what I've been learning. So,
what I really appreciated too was that your questions had a why to your questions. Like you're like, hey, this is going on in your life. So what do you feel about this? So it was it made it a lot easier for me to fit into all of my writing and stuff.
Yeah, but I know we've talked a little bit on the show about how the people are very upset that the Chat GPT and the AI stuff is perhaps stealing things from other people. But I think when utilized as a tool can only be positive for us in the future.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, do you want to go to a different room? I feel like these two are just hitting it off so well. I just feel like we're the third and fourth wheel here. Do you just want to?
I don't want to get too
I just feel like these two just have such a good rapport.
I apologize.
I was. I'm just saying. I was like, buy him dinner. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
It's true. They do.
You guys have some great comic news. Honestly, because I was so out of the weather today, I did not have a ton to look up. So, anybody got anything?
I was breaking my back shoveling. The best I had this week was oh God, I'm gonna forget his name now. Yoon, joining
Lionel
the cast.
Francis?
Huh?
Yoon?
No, yeah, Michael Yoon, I think is his name. He's joining the cast of Thunderbolts.
Oh, cool.
They haven't announced what he's doing in it, but they just have that he has signed contracts.
Okay.
And is joining
what
the
character, Jeremy?
Well, that's what I said. They have.
Right?
He's been in a lot of stuff. He does the voice of the kid in Invincible. I'm horrible with names, as you all can see.
Wait,
are you talking?
Wait, in The Walking Dead.
You're talking about Steven Yeun, who played Glenn,
not Michael,
in The Walking Dead. Yes. He's the Steven Yeun. Yeah, he played Glenn in The Walking Dead. He's the main kid. He's Invincible in the show.
Grayson.
Yeah,
Invincible.
Okay. Thank you.
Which season 2 is coming out soon, I believe.
Yeah, but he just signed on for the Thunderbolts movie. Not sure what character though. They didn't announce that.
Okay. Nice.
Although I'm seeing a bunch of Mark Graysons on the side over here. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That was his character's name in Invincible.
Oh.
They want to help you be a better nerd. They want to help you, man.
Thank you all.
Come on. You can't always rely on me.
All me.
And guys, yesterday I watched Knock on the Cabin.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Wow. All I can say is wow. I was not expecting to be wowed. Number one, M. Night Shyamalan, and I
That's why.
And I didn't know where Dave Bautista was going to go in this. I thought, it looked from the thing, maybe he was just going to play another heavy. But man, every actor in that movie put on a spectacular performance. So highly, like 4.8, like boom, it was
Jonathan
strong.
Groff, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a theory about why it was so good, Rich. Okay, so briefly, and then we'll get to the comic news. So my theory about M. Night is when we expect greatness from him, we will become disappointed. But when we assume it's going to be a shit heap, he wows us. So example of that being Split. You had no idea, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Disappointment. The list is so big. Glass being one of the biggest ones.
Some of them are really
but
good,
that's
though. Some are very.
No, don't get me wrong. I will always stand by
Lady in the Water. Yeah, I like both of those, and I think The Village is unfairly judged based on the time it came out. Go back and watch that on.
Guys, we're missing that Unbreakable is still one of the best non-DC Marvel comics book movies that came out in those early 2000s. So that's all I'm saying. So
Unbreakable was
so that's why, Rich. Of course it was.
Well, he did it again.
Listen,
I think my least favorite.
Rich, what's that old saying?
The plant one, where the
happening.
The happening. That's it.
Yeah. The hey, we're giving M. Night an R rating, and what he gives us, nothing. He gives us nothing.
Plants.
Okay, it should have been called The Nothing.
Yeah.
Would have been accurate.
And then we can't forget. Tomorrow night we've got Mando coming back, so get your Grogu on.
Oh, that's tomorrow night.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I'm ready.
Actually, it's gonna be midnight tonight. I'll be watching it.
Oh yeah, so I might end up watching those episodes tonight.
Leo is ready.
Yes,
wherever
he is. Might want to watch tonight when we get off the podcast. You might want to watch the last episode or two to refresh your memories.
Fuck that! I'm going to sleep. Save that for tomorrow. The galaxy that's far away can wait for a good night's rest. But comic news. There is one thing I would like to point out is this. I'm very excited about this. I found out this recently. Marvel, because they love their big milestone issues, has crossed another one with AKA the First Family, AKA the Fantastic Four. The current series, issue 7 or 8, will be the 700th issue of Fantastic Four published by Marvel since the 60s.
Wow.
700 issues. And to make it even better, and Justin, when you're ready, roll it.
Working on it.
I know, it's fine. I can only delay my phrases so much, like Shatner.
I was about to say sabotage or sabotage.
I can say
sabotage.
No, Marvel will be releasing a cover.
I'm glad everybody got the reference.
Listen, the point being is, everybody, Fantastic Four issue 700 will have a cover by artist Scott Colbert that will have 700 characters over the wraparound cover.
Whoa! Wow.
The artist Scott Colbert, who most of us, if you do know your Deadpool, was doing a lot of the Deadpool covers. He worked a lot with Jerry Dugan and Brian Posen's run on Deadpool. He did a lot of work with Dugan's later run that followed that. He's a great artist. I've met him myself. Wonderful sense of humor. He said, I've been a big fan of Fantastic Four since I was a kid. So not only was it an honor to draw this cover, but it was a dream come true to scroll through every issue of Fantastic Four ever. I was able to convey all of the sheer joy, wonder, and boundless creativity that the Fantastic Four have embodied for 6 decades, and I hope it continues to be a shining beacon for decades to come. It's honestly, just looking at it, I couldn't help but play the game of how many characters do I know and which ones escape my mind at this time. I lost count, over 50.
That's always
Koblish
fun to
also
do.
does. Hey, Jeremy, you're gonna have a fucking ball.
Well,
It's like a Where's Waldo of Marvel weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do that with the Muhammad Ali cover for Superman versus Muhammad Ali, Neil Adams cover, and you sit there and you're like, "Oh, hey, there's that person and that person, that person."
Well,
Hey,
well,
Drew,
Koblish had done something similar like this. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Drew. Wasn't there like a time when Marvel stopped printing Fantastic
what were you saying, Rich?
Four? There was
They
a
had.
time when Marvel stopped printing Fantastic Four. Was that over a year? I remember there was some kind of battle, like the movie versus the comic type thing, and they just stopped printing
No.
it.
So that was around 2015, 2017. There was this big rights thing that was going on with Fox and Marvel, to the point where Marvel literally stopped publishing Fantastic Four, and it also told the X-Men writers at the time to stop creating New Mutants, essentially to hurt Fox from using them in their movies and profiting off of them. This is how deep, quote unquote, the rivalry was going. Obviously, when Marvel was acquired by Disney and Disney acquired Fox and Mickey Mouse's Thanos ban to own all of media, that was lifted. You had the Fantastic Four coming back with Dan Slott's run, which was the first time we really saw the Fantastic Four as a group again, since I believe Secret Wars. I mean, we saw some of the others, like Johnny Storm and Bed Grimm had ended up on other teams and whatnot, but this was the first time. So essentially they've been back at Marvel since then, kicking up stuff, doing their first family shit. But I mean, honestly, what a beautiful cover, and it's really reminiscent of Skoblish's other work, because he did something similar for Deadpool issue 27, which was the issue that Deadpool got married, and he had all these characters. It's a beautiful cover. I mean, it's an anthology issue, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I think he had like 200, maybe 300. Like he crammed a lot in there. So this is the Deadpool issue I was just talking to you guys about. I mean, it was
there. Guys.
It's gone.
Where'd it go? There we go.
Bam!
Fellas.
It's back. Here it is.
So this is the Deadpool issue I was just referring to. I mean, look at that. That detail is stunning. Look at that. Jeremy, just take that away. Look at all that.
Was he marrying Death in this one, Drew?
This is when he was marrying the Queen of Vampires.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Shikla, I believe her name is.
Oh,
well,
right.
you even got Devil Dinosaur up in the
Yeah, I just saw that in the corner too.
Yeah.
In the other corner, Silver Surfer.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this one, it's fantastic. And then the other cover, which
you got all the who's
basically. So, yep. And you know,
even Lady Deadpool's.
If you can see this one, it's a little bit smaller.
And then there's this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, Jeremy, so this is so everybody, I apologize if it's a little hard to actually see. It's essentially what was released, but just looking at it, there are 700.
They need
characters.
to do a poster of this or a print.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
Red Ghost is in there. Wow.
Yeah, so this is literally anybody who showed up in a Fantastic Four issue is in this cover, and it's going to be a wraparound. I believe
that they got Miss Marvel as a thing in this. That's when I first started reading comics, when Miss Marvel was Lady Thing. That is pretty freaking dope.
There you go, guys.
Not,
so
nostalgia hit.
Sharon,
yeah.
What was her name? Sharon something?
Once again, I'm horrible with names.
No, her name was Sharon. Yes.
she hated it so much is all I remembered, and Ben was just like he was infatuated with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I saw all the cosmic beings up on the left-hand corners, the ego, master order, or Lord order and chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Doom is front
there's
and
even a
center.
couple of different watchers.
Yep.
Yeah. Epoch I see in there in the corner next to Death.
Mhm. I mean, like I said, there's so many, and Scott literally drew them all. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the coolest.
Oh, I
Paste
see
Pot Pete.
Puck right up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Herbie.
So that was the first thing. So just wanted to share that with y'all.
Very cool.
Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be in stores, I believe, sometime in May. So definitely keep an eye out on that. The second thing is that we finally have an update that they are believing around May. Marvel will start production on Blade.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they say that hopefully by May, the movie will be back on schedule. As we know, the director, the original director, did leave due to creative differences with Marvel. But they had a new director. I believe his name is Jan.
Ever used. It allows me to reach an
Sorry,
audience
guys.
that I never.
I apologize. I just hit something and my phone started blasting music. I apologize.
No worries. The new director, I believe, is Jan Demarge, who, for people who don't know, was one of the directors for Lovecraft County, which was great.
That was very cool.
Yeah. So he took over for the other director, whose name unfortunately escapes me at this time.
That would be like kind of a cool take, like if they use elements that they use like in Lovecraft. I mean, that was a very dark and like interesting, very interesting.
And as much as personally I loved the first two Blade movies are in my mind absolutely beautiful to both rewatch and still hold up. I'm excited for Mahershala Ali's run of Blade. I think he is a great actor. I think he's going to do just as good of a job as Wesley for the role. And to be quite honest, I am down for more horror influences in Marvel. Like Marvel is, I don't like little too family friendly. Like when Werewolf by Night showed up, I was like, yes.
I
Blade,
think that'll be a nice way to like liven up stuff for Marvel for myself too, because like a lot of us are just getting kind of fizzled out on it, and to have some of the more like darker characters, the more darker characters come into it. Oh, yeah, fantastic.
The occult angle is very appealing to me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Listen, I'm just waiting for when we finally announce that we're doing a Midnight Suns movie, because then I'm just gonna Rick and Morty. Son of a bitch, I'm in. Just yes.
Make it rain, Marvel.
Make it rain. So we're gonna keep you updated on that.
I'm gonna play Leo's angle here and say, what about Morbius, guys?
Oh, he would be in the Midnight Suns. Be all over that.
Oh,
yeah, he's a little tainted, Justin, because of that horrible movie that you're giggling about right now. But
I'm being Leo.
He would be a welcome addition.
Well, according to Leo, that is part of the MCU.
Can we something else, please?
Confirmed.
What is Sony's ownership on him at this point? Have they given it away?
No.
No, they're still holding on to it.
Never.
All right.
They will never.
So that's all the news I had.
I remember one thing that is certainly pertinent, and I talked to Tim Jones about it a few days ago. Ooh. I don't know if you guys saw Scott Adams, who wrote Dilbert, did a wicked racist
Oh,
rant.
yeah.
And apparently he's done some other crazy rants that I wasn't aware of. And I guess
Yeah.
other artists have been aware of it for years and they've never understood why he's still been in there. But I guess this is enough to get him kicked off of almost every publication, and even his agents have separated doing business with him.
Does anybody
Oh,
know
yeah.
exactly what he said and did? Because I all I saw was that he went on a racist rant, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
But I would like to know more.
Google
Yeah.
almost any of his
I got
videos, Jar Jar. It's
Rich, I got
horrible.
this. I
yes,
got this.
You in the corner.
So, yes, hi. So, hi, Drew Mollo, facts aplenty. So, what happened was, his comments came in response to a poll from a conservative firm called Rasmussen Reports, which said that 53% of Black Americans agreed with the statement, "It's okay to be white." Essentially, the Anti-Defamation League has noted that the phrase has emerged on 4chan 2017, it's the trolling campaign, and it has a bit of a long history with white supremacist movements. So what
Are
Adam
people
said
putting that
on
their
his
bumper
show,
stickers? God, our country's
Jeremy,
messed
listen,
up.
humanity, the false bottom of humanity knows no bounds. But basically, what was said was, according to what he said, if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. He said on his YouTube show, Real Coffee with Scott Adams, I don't want anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away because there's no fixing this. So essentially, his fate has been sealed. His publishers have dropped him. Dilbert is no longer being published through any major newspapers. It is now available privately, everyone. So, if you want to get your pick, no, it's actually available now for subscription via the website. And his publishers have dropped any projects he was working on. He was supposed to have a book coming out in September this year. Nope. That deal is dead. So
of course he's saying
essentially,
that he's canceled, but you're not canceled. You're just reaping.
Nobody wants to buy your stuff.
Yeah, you're reaping what you sow, buddy. Reaping what you sow.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
you guys ever
I was
Dilbert
dying.
I never have. Yeah.
I don't think so, Justin.
No,
I never got it. And
See,
like,
I've always known of
working in
Dilbert,
office,
but I
you
don't
get
think
it.
I've ever really read much Dilbert.
I would rather read like High and Lois or
I like Family Circus.
Family Circus. Yeah, like anything. Wizard of Id, Mother Goose and Grimm, anything. Zippy.
Sour
I
grapes.
understand Zippy.
Sour Grapes.
Yeah.
Sour Grapes is a great comic strip.
Yeah, and so
I'm sorry.
I talked to Tim, and I told Tim to go after those markets. I said, Tim, go after those markets that he's lost.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because Tim's a good guy, and he's he's like, I used to respect Mr. Adams. He goes, not anymore.
And never mind. Tim's like a professional. Like he has a new strip every week on the 52 strips a year. Like and it never fails. That guy has, and it's great. It's drawn perfect.
That
hell of a stripper.
Yeah, he does it all. He's really
a professional
done well.
comic stripper.
Yep. Woohoo!
Yep. Give him all the singles, Justin. I agree. But I'm sorry. I'm still dealing with that image of Dilbert and a support group of characters whose creators were crappy, and you had Ren and Stimpy, Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't remember the last person.
It was
I was
Harry
like, I don't know
Potter.
who you are, but I'm sorry.
It was Harry Potter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Harry Potter, and then it's just hello, my name is Dilbert, and I'm just like, poor guy.
So now we'll
I just know
never
they
hear
had
about him
Daniel Stern
again.
do the voice of the cartoon.
Once
nice.
he becomes like Winnie the Pooh is now public domain. Once Dilbert becomes public domain, that's when you'll hear about him again.
They'll make a horror movie about Dilbert.
Yeah.
With When office days go bad.
That's my stapler.
I feel like that's like the premise for Wanted, or maybe the office parts of the Matrix, but Wanted for sure.
I'm just imagining curving the bullet, but it's Gilbert.
With his dog.
Yeah, you know what we call when we curve the bullet? A paperclip.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna be like,
oh, did you get this memo? Yes. Rowling didn't create Harry Potter. She stole him as a character from the creator in the film Troll and paid a sum of money to him later.
Is that Norwegian film? Troll?
I was thinking of the one with Julia Louis-Dreyfus in it, and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I want to say Tony Cox was in it from the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we're not talking about Troll 2, because we definitely need to. We definitely cannot.
Oh my
God! We can't talk about Troll 2.
Nope,
the
definitely.
Norwegian film is really good if you ever do get a chance to check it out. Fun fact.
All right. So, did you guys have any more news, I guess, before we go into the deep dive?
No, it's been like a really slow week for news for the past couple of weeks, I'd say. Really kind of quiet. Not too much really going, which is good in a way, but bad in a way for our podcast.
Jesse, to that I say Nilbog.
Yes. That's why I don't eat vegetables, because I'm scared of what they once were.
Yeah.
Troll 2 humor, everyone. If you don't watch it, don't understand what we're talking about. Don't trust baseballs.
So deep dive, you say,
I guess.
Yes.
So the deep dive. It's my first one. So before we get to the book, I guess my deep dive will be we will be discussing The Gray Ghost. If you read Harley Quinn, White Knight, you'd see that Simon Trent pops up. While you may see him as just an elderly gentleman who knows how to fight off psychotic black and white psychopaths and knows how to get out of a clown knot, we nerds know him better as the Gray Ghost, who was a character that was introduced in the Batman animated series, who was also voiced originally by the late, great Adam West. The character, which was essentially a huge reference to The Shadow, which some people say it's helped inspire Batman originally. The Gray Ghost is an old pulp, essentially hero who, as we saw in Batman series, basically inspired Bruce Wayne. But who, as we know him as Simon Trent, he's an out-of-work actor who's ashamed of his past, collects all these things from his past that he uses to pay the bills, and is ashamed of his past because he can't move forward. But of course, working with Batman, finding out that essentially his life's work wasn't in vain, as it inspired one of the world's greatest heroes. It is essentially one of the best episodes in Batman and animated series, and both Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, who helped write the episode, and Bruce Timm actually cameos in the film. He's actually the Mad Bomber. He voices the character in the show. They said that the episode would not have worked if Adam West hadn't done it, but they were a little worried approaching him because they were worried that it was kind of essentially parodying some of the struggles West experienced trying to find work after being done with Batman in the 60s. But Adam West, showing that he would indeed have the great sense of humor that we knew as the mayor of Quahog, he loved it. He performed with pride. Personally, I rewatched it, researching the dead dive. It still hits you right here, man. Especially at the end when you realize that Bruce Wayne essentially told him his secret identity, and he gets it. And they have that, oh my God, I know. And it's like, dude. So the Gray Ghost is essentially, like I said, he is a what's the word?
Doppelganger?
It's a tribute, but
Homage.
the name is actually What happened? Oh yeah, an homage. Thank you. It's an homage to the Shadow, but the Gray Ghost, fun fact, is actually a reference to the titular character from a 1936 issue of the Shadow's pulp series. So, like, there's a lot of those references. Like the Gray Ghost poster that we see in the issue, the episode, is based on the cover of The Shadowed Millions, which is one of the Shadow's novels that was illustrated by the great Jim Steranko. So, fun facts there. The Gray Ghost we would see referenced quite a bit in the DCAU. Most notably, we've seen it in Batman Beyond. We definitely see the Gray Ghost costume and hat and goggles portrayed in the Batcave. We see that being the Gray Ghost Strikes Again is the film that a young Warren McGinnis with his wife Mary and Terry saw on the night that he was supposed to be Batmanized in Justice League Unlimited episode Epilogue. And there's been a few other references in the video games and whatnot, but then the Gray Ghost actually made his comic book appearance. He made it twice. One in the Batman Gotham Adventure series, where he's, again, still Simon Trent one up, but then a different Gray Ghost actually shows up during the New 52 in Batgirl, Volume 2, Issue number 9. This time, this person actually isn't Simon Trent. His name is Clancy Johnson. And his attire is actually similar to, do you guys remember the JSA hero, Dr. Midnight?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the second one. The one that was more of a surgeon and not a Golden Age hero.
Okay.
The one who was blind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more similar than that. So it's, think that costume, shades of gray, and he actually wields, instead of a gas gun, he wields a shotgun. So he's more of a vigilante. He's obsessed with Batgirl, and he does not last long. He unfortunately is killed by a mercenary group called the Order of the Scythe. And that's the last time we see the Gray Ghost. But Simon Trent actually shows up in 2015 in the Gotham Academy, where he is a famous director and playwright who teaches at the Academy, and of course has a rivalry with Clayface because actors. Which
Basil
I'm
Carter,
sorry,
right?
when I thought that, I saw the Clayface from Harley Quinn, and then I was like, oh, that
Of
would be the
course.
greatest Batman
I'm an
of all.
actor.
I'm an actor. Thank you, Alan Tudyk, for making us laugh so many years later. So that's the Gray Ghost, everybody. Please do yourself a favor. Go back for that nostalgia. Rewatch the Gray Ghost episode of Batman animated series. It will essentially make you cry now that you realize that there are two Batmen that we will mourn in that episode. Yeah, just had to end a little bit of a downer. So yeah, so that's the Gray Ghost, guys.
Wow.
Like I said,
Drew, I had no idea he had such. I mean, I knew about the Batman the Animated Series stuff, and obviously from this issue, but I had no idea he went that deep.
oh yeah, you honestly, it really is pretty impressive when we know, again, it's the research. Like, it's just really makes you admire the amount of creativity it's put in. Like, essentially, it's really nice when you see that kind of dedication and research, because you realize that if you're lucky, you get to be a fan that gets to show your appreciation for the lore with that kind of Easter egg, but then also put your own stamp into it. So again, why not? You know, if it's done right, who cares? But yeah, but this, just seeing that, I mean, I'm sorry. I just wanted to bust out the old Adam West impression, but just rewatching the episode, it's just so good. And it's just, I think, even more now because we're in a world where both Adam and Kevin are gone. It's got that eeriness, but it's just so damn perfect. I mean, a lot of the Batman animated series was like that. So, with the perfect ado of times of yesteryear, I guess, Rich, I always kind of look at you being the default person for White Knight, Batman White Knight stuff. You are the person who introduced it to us. Thank you again. It's been a great series from the beginning to the end. And the end's still on site. So do you want to introduce the book to our audience? Then we can start talking about it?
Sure. Now, you guys can go back. We have done an episode on the beginning of the White Knight series, which was a great episode that I thoroughly enjoyed. And now we are going to, it's called Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. It's by Sean Murphy, and I've always just given Sean Murphy the credit, but it's actually a duo. It's Sean Murphy and Katana Collins, who I learned is actually usually a romance writer, and she definitely gets her jam of romance in here. And they both did a fantastic story.
It's definitely a romance book. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they've crafted this beautiful universe that is really the way I've always seen the Joker, which I've discussed with all of you guys before, and you too, Justin.
Well, this is a much better presentation of the Joker than any DC continuity has ever done.
Yeah, the biggest thing is right in the beginning, where they basically recraft the history of Harley and Joker. And also some of the psychosis that Harleen takes on that she feels is her fault. Because in this storyline, as you guys know from reading the first story, Jack Napier was Jack, and they met before he was Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how I feel about it, and I know you guys know how I feel about it, but I'm really interested what Justin's perception was, because he's our guest host, and he hasn't talked a lot tonight. So, Justin, tell me what you thought.
What a redemption for the character of Jack Napier that this is. And the idea that Harley was integral in the creation of the Joker, and that Harley was brought through school by Napier and all that. It really, it subverts your expectations. It juxtaposes the characters. It takes a look at that sort of like, that's the toxic relationship of Joker and Harley. Like, well, what if it wasn't? What if it was everything that we thought it could be? Because these are just two people in love. And that's what this story is about. And there's a lot of stuff that happens after the White Knight and then to this point. So they'll even use that as the tagline line. Batman's in jail, Joker's gone, and Harley is trying to figure out this mystery in like a long Halloween style case. It's pretty great. I gotta say, it was a really good read.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you got the perception too.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just gonna say, I have to say, I find this version of DC way better than, and I'm a big fan of DC, way better than the regular Batman, because it shows you the repercussions of both sides. Like, whether you're good or bad, nobody's just good and nobody's just bad. I mean, hopefully there are some people, but everybody, the repercussions, like he's a gangster and all this stuff, but the beatings that they're subjected to through Batman and the foul play of the cops and all this other stuff, and never mind the roughness of just trying to get through life, what they're doing, what they have to do to survive. It's no longer, there's a gray line. It's no longer black and white anymore. I find it like it makes you, the reader, think more, okay, yeah, Joker's bad, but there's all this other stuff going on too, and what would I do if that happened to me? I think the whole White Knight series in itself is a great look into comic books and what they can be.
Absolutely. And Jeremy, just to piggyback on that, I feel like this series really makes a wonderful case that the kind of thinking in comics that created the Elseworlds in the 90s is still something that should really be explored in DC still, because it's just sometimes good to see a refreshing, different perspective on classic characters. I mean, again, anyone can argue that not every Elseworld was amazing. Some were okay, some were not. Some were mind-blowing. We've covered a few of them ourselves on the show, But this one, what I really liked about it
just covered one.
No,
was not great.
You were saying which one?
You just covered the Darkest Night, the Batman where he gets the Green Lantern, and that one was a little subpar. So I will absolutely agree with you. We covered that on Comics Paradox recently.
Yeah. So if you want to, again, shameless plug, Comics Paradox explores all Elseworlds, good, bad, and the fugly. But back onto this. What I really like about it is that Sean Murphy's universe, it has this wonderful thing where it pays such good attention to detail. You have your big action moments, you have your characters, but everybody's very, very developed. Everybody's very real. Everybody's very relatable. There's nobody that you feel is just thrown in there and they do nothing. There's no wallpaper characters. Everybody has their small moments. Like one of my favorites was actually the beginning of one of the issues where you just see a brawl in prison and then everybody stops just to let Bruce Wayne walk through and then they keep fighting. It's one page, 4 panels, and it says a multitude of things and there's no dialogue. So again, it's just a wonderful thing. And then you have Katana Collins and working with Sean Murphy here, and then you have Matteo Scalera, who I've always said is a fantastic artist. I've watched his career for a while. He does great Batman. If you do want to see more of his work, check out a series that he did with Rick Morender called Black Science. It's literally like Lost in Space meets the multiverse. It's awesome. But back to this, the style totally matches Murphy's, where it's detailed, but it's also just very effortless. It's like it's got that nice, clean lines of the animated series with the kind of rough grittiness that you would expect of a modern day Gotham City. The detail is there, the story is there. Honestly, this entire universe has won me over. If it publishes any story, I'm reading it. And it just makes a case that this is the kind of stories that DC should be making. Fun, well-written, escapes from reality. Cannot recommend this enough. And it has no problem going to dark places, but it doesn't take you to the point where it rubs your face in them. It shows us the darkness, but it still shows that even in Gotham, heroes can still be heroes, villains can still be villains, but it's never always who you think it is.
I think the reveals in this too were just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The way it was done as a true crime kind of mystery, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Each act. Is the producer in main continuity? Because this is the first time I've ever heard of him.
No, I don't think. No,
I think they should change that.
Starlet too.
Yeah, I think both of those characters would fit very well in main continuity.
I feel like one character, because I feel like there was a character who was very similar to the producer who we saw in the beginning of the Joker War, which similar to. And the other thing I really enjoyed is I enjoyed this idea that Harley is just Harley is such a unique mom that she sees absolutely no problem with her kids hanging out with hyenas.
Right.
Another great moment is you just have her kids at the playground and all these parents are freaking out.
We see a lot with the hyenas. We see from when she first sees the hyenas at the carnival, and then again, she's living with the hyenas. The hyenas are, the kids are on the hyenas. Jack gives her the hyenas, and I don't want to ruin it. Something bad happens to one of the hyenas, and then, a beautiful things happen at the end.
They made me cry.
And Harley's evolution in this was a whole other storyline where she's sort of like, okay, Joker's gone, Batman is in jail. what is my role in this world? You know, I've got a job, I've got these kids, I've got the hyenas. I don't want to do crime anymore.
And another great thing that I loved is that I really don't recall the hyenas ever be given names. I remember in the animated series, she always called them her babies, and then when it's like
names. Lou and
but I'm saying Bud and Lou, and then I was just thinking, I was like, oh my god, that's so genius. Like, again, I don't know if that's something that's exclusive to the Murphyverse or everything, but again, these little details make the world of a difference.
Going on what Rich was saying about her being a mother, a detective, like it took Poison Ivy, I think, in this part right here to tell her that, you're all of these people. You're not just one of them. Like, you own all of this.
Right. And it took till the end of the story, Jeremy, for her to accept that.
Yeah.
So it was as much an empowerment journey as it was a redemption journey. And I almost felt like the whole noir mystery thing was almost a secondary story. To
Absolutely.
that.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
And it again, it was just such a great read. I mean, 6 issues was a perfect length to tell all of the story. It's such a satisfying conclusion. The twists are great. The action is great. I mean, it's such a solid entry in an already just perfect series. Like, honestly, I've read everything that Sean Murphy has done for this universe, and I've never been like, this is fine. Everything has just been knocked out of the park. So,
yeah,
did you ever read this Tokyo Ghost?
Yes, beautiful.
I was asking if you guys
stuff.
have ever read Tokyo Ghost. Yep.
Oh yeah, I've read it.
I have not.
It's a good read. We should definitely add that to our list to review.
Is that Sean Murphy as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Justin? Is that him and Mark Millar, or is that just Sean?
I'm not sure from the top of my head. I thought it was him. I think it's an Image book.
Yeah, it's an Image book. It might be him and Rick Morender. I think it. Fun fact, Jeremy, Mark Millar and Sean Murphy did do a series together. It was called Chrononauts. So definitely check that out.
That's the Tokyo Ghost is Matt Hollingsworth, Rick Remender, and Sean Murphy.
Oh, well, Matt also worked with him on this. So,
yep. So,
yeah, and this is the true version. Drew, we've had the conversation about Mad Love and how in the comics it's sort of been a detriment because it's an abusive relationship. But this is the vision.
This shows it very differently.
This was so beautiful because
that's what I was saying.
It was very pure in the beginning. He was very gallant. He was a mobster and he had just met her and he was not letting her be abused by some other guy just because she was a go-go dancer.
Right.
And she could, in his eyes, no matter what, she commanded respect. And he went to just be with her and spend time with her. And their love developed, way before he, morphed into the Joker. And obviously a sickness, but she blamed herself and she had to come to a reckoning with that and understand that it was not her. It was not her place to fix him.
1 second, I have to do this. Justin, pull that up again for a minute. Scroll up. 1 second. The Gray Ghost.
Even more?
Mm-hmm. No, it's fine.
The poster right there. The poster.
I just wanted to do the Gray Ghost intro.
Gotcha.
From the show. The Gray Ghost.
You see Batman and Gordon?
And Gordon.
Yeah. Very Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. But yeah, so overall.
Oh, and they got the statues over behind him, too. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Sean Murphy is notorious. We saw that in the last series. He puts Easter eggs and a lot of stuff from BTAS all over the place and stuff from Batman lore. That man does his homework. There is no doubt.
That newspaper there, you can almost assume that Grey Ghost case happened with Batman and the Ed Bomber. So you can almost assume that that's this same universe.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off what you're saying there, guys, about this too, what an interesting way to flesh out the universe that they had, where they have now You go back and read The White Knight, and there's a whole new dimension because now there's this piece to it where it's like, hey, Harley helped create him. Harley did this, and this is what Jack was like before, he was the Joker when she met him, and that's why she fell in love with Jack. So that's like a whole new dimension that it gives you. You could reread that now and see new things you didn't see in the past.
True. No, I definitely want to go back and read the Azrael one now because I've read the original and it was great. Yeah. But this actually makes me want to read all of them. I was the end broke my heart. Not broke my heart. It brought a tear. Like it was a few tears.
Well, Jeremy, you have to understand. I think comic books have this rare thing where I don't feel comics like to give characters happy endings. That people feel that a person in the comic is not important unless there's some sort of tragedy. Like, it's never a clear win. It's kind of like a horror movie win, where you beat the evil, but you're still transformed by it. So in this one, there's loss, there's pain, there's death, there's regret, there's sorrow, but there's also hope.
Yeah.
And I think that's always been a very motivating thing in the Murphyverse, is that there's always this idea of hope. No matter how bad things are, Batman will prevail.
Absolutely.
And it's just, again, cannot recommend this thing enough, but I honestly feel that you have to start from the beginning. You have to start from the beginning and you have to work your way through. And honestly, true believers, you will not be disappointed with this series. I've recommended it to a few people, and just like Rich recommended it to us, there's been nothing but rave reviews. So please give this a shot. Give it your money. Go.
Sounds like all four of us are very much on the same.
Yes.
So, and I don't even want to go too deep down the rabbit hole because we don't want to ruin it for people. But the character of the psychiatrist Quimby and his correlation to how he has the Harley fetish, the way Harley had the Joker fetish. And the evil mother and the whole dichotomy of the killer, it was just phenomenal. Just the whole thing is really great.
Agreed.
So, I forget who said it earlier, but each character is really fleshed out in this. Nobody is brought in that is not utilized.
Agreed. So, guys, I feel like we've really said everything we want to. Do you want to rate this sucker and call it a night?
Sure.
Absolutely. Why don't we start off with our guest host, Justin? Where would you rate this bad boy out of 5?
Out of 5, I'd give it a solid 4. I think it's good. I think there's it's not a perfect story, but it's pretty good. I kind of feel like she didn't do much with her kids, and that was kind of like a very loose thread where it's like they were more used as like bait for her or anything else like that. So I think they could have developed that a little bit better. But I mean, it's enjoyable. It gives extra dimensions to something you've already read. I think it's worth checking out. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay.
Rich.
All right, Rich.
Well, I'm going to give this one of my highest ratings. I've never given a 5. I don't want to say that this is a 5. I don't want to say this is a 4.95. Impressive. Wow. I mean, as everyone's been saying, the whole Murphy / Collins universe is phenomenal. I still need to delve into the Red Hood one, and now apparently Generation Joker is the newest one.
Dude.
And I haven't even read the the Batman Future one.
Same here. Beyond.
Batman Beyond, because that is supposed to be phenomenal as well. So I really have to get all this in. But I mean,
looks like we both got quite a bit of homework.
Yeah, and I did some research. Apparently, there's at least 3 coming untitles coming in the 3 upcoming untitles in that universe. So if you guys, if you feel on the fence about DC in any way, this is something to delve into. Start with White Knight and to go from there. You'll love it. I promise.
And Rich, just to let you know, read Beyond, and then you read the Red Hood issues in the middle of that, and then you keep reading Beyond. That's how that goes. It all ties into it. So just letting you
Okay.
know.
All right.
I'm all caught up, so I know this.
I'm looking forward to it. So 4.95 Harley Hammers. And what about you, Drew?
You know, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. It's not a perfect book, but I really just enjoy the breath of fresh air that this is. It's really nice to read a balanced book. Everybody brought their A game. Everybody told a great story. You know, everyone is satisfied. So I'm giving it a 4.5 bolo knives. So that's me. Jeremy.
I'm going 4.75. We're almost perfect. Like, it's a great book. I laughed, I cried, it held my interest enough that I didn't even fall asleep during it. I read straight through.
That's a big deal.
Well, I have a
Hello?
problem of falling asleep while I read. So
You do.
this was fantastic for me. I read through the first 4 issues, got into the issue 5, put it down for maybe an hour, and then picked it up and finished it. It was great. I would recommend this to everybody, starting with White Knight, and then I don't know if you have to go in chronological order with Azrael and everything, because I read this before Azrael. But if you do, then I didn't notice. It's really good stuff.
Yes, so just in terms of everybody, just to let you know of the proper timeline, White Knight, Curse of the White Knight, Von Freeze, which is technically like a prequel series, but it still is relevant to that universe. Harley, Beyond, the Red Hood is in between the Beyond, and then after Beyond, you have, as Rich said, one of the 3. We're not going to tell you the rest of them because you have to leave something for you to figure out on your own. We can't tell you everything because then why the fuck would you read? Okay, so Generation Joker, going to be really great. Thoroughly pumped. But, yep. So, Justin, you want to sign us off?
So with that, you folks can follow us on the Splash Pages Comic Book Club website. You can check out our respective social media pages. We'll start off with Mr. Velvet J. You want to tell people where they can find you?
Sure, absolutely. Guys, you can find me here Facebook, and you can find me here every Tuesday night here on the award-winning Splash Pages. Throwback King, it's your man, Velvet J. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube, Velvet Joker 1. These are the places you can find me. Reach out, watch my content, love my stuff, love me, love these guys. We all do fun stuff. We're all creative people. Dig it. Drew,
All right, Mr. Jeremy,
or
Drew.
What? There's so many choices. Jeremy, go.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, thanks for watching, and come check me out March 18th and 19th at Connecticut GamerCon at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. I'm going to be chilling with Kyle Hebert, Marta Spatek, and Caitlin Glass up on stage doing panels with them. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot more fun if all of you show up too. So please do. If you want to hang out with me ever, check me out on Facebook as Jeremy Courtney, or go over to Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction page and hang with the other 20,000 people that buy, sell, trade, and auction all of their wonderful geek stuff every day. We have a lot of rules, but our main rule is if you scam anybody, you're gone. But yeah, and check us out here on Splash Pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Splash Pages, everybody.
David Caruso, everyone.
And you can find that guy over there that doesn't want to say anything. Ghostbuster Man 1984 on Instagram. Find him, message him, tell him funny things.
I hate these guys. See you next week. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Folks, I'm not Leo, but you can Google Leo Pond and you may find a whole bunch of things that are maybe true, and you may find out a little bit of thing called the Dorkening Network. Right? You could do that. That's usually his spiel, right?
Yeah,
Over 40 shows on the network.
Shows.
choose from.
Some
One of
things
which
are
is
true,
all about
some
Ninja
things
Turtles.
aren't.
You can check that out.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things on the Dorkening Podcast Network.
And tune in. One of these shows, we're going to have a tip jar for how many times we interrupt each other during one show. Will we have enough to buy our own table? Who knows?
Right there,
next week.
I'm
That'll get us
interrupting.
to con.
We're right there. Is on Comic Paradox, and he has a Ninja Turtle show called
Epic Tales from the Sewers.
Epic Tales from the Sewers.
Help that man buy more ooze.
Shellbacks. Get it. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Thanks for watching, guys. And good night.
Good night.
Good night.